Hi, good evening, everyone. Just let me know if you can hear me okay and see me okay, that everything technical is working. I did decide after leaving a message earlier that I do want to do this live stream quickly to update you on exactly what is happening. You'll see I haven't used the hashtag Leave Our Kids Alone in a long time, but it was necessary to do that again. And I'm going to be talking to you about what I touched on the video earlier today. And it's all out war again. And I knew it was going to happen at some stage. Here's the article link that I'm referring to. And it's infuriating what is happening right now. Okay, I'm glad everything's working. Can you see me? I hope you can see me. Um, so I hope we can get some people into this live stream, but please share it with as many people as possible. This is a very serious issue. And this is how the Department of Basic Education and all these international powers that have the funding try and wangle their new world order ways into your child's life. And at the end of the day, to them, it doesn't matter what you think, what you do, because they can control you through monitoring, tracking, and tracing. They need to get control of your child's mind. This is the most important thing. And in the past, when I did videos on kids, no one was really interested. So I think Lauren will do a better job at that. So you can just follow her in future with what she will do with regards to this. And she will obviously take the lead. She was the founder of hashtag Leave Our Kids Alone, started a Facebook group that grew to over 130,000 people. They are still there and fighting fit and fighting ready. And on this specific issue, I think the fight is going to become hectic because in that link that I just provided you, and this is from IOL, Department sparks controversy with toolkit. So it's this pack that they've put together of training for teachers. And the teachers are not going to tell you what they've been trained in. They want to hide this from you because many of them don't agree with it, but they still want to earn a salary. And you'll famously remember with Leave Our Kids Alone campaign that they were making CSE of or um, comprehensive sexuality education compulsory in schools. They were even going to discipline teachers if they weren't willing to teach this utter garbage. And a lot of fake information was spread all over the place, which doesn't help the cause. Lauren stuck to the facts, and that is what made the difference. That's why she didn't associate with any other organizations. It was just people on the ground, and anyone that wanted to fight the fight could join in. Doesn't matter who they're from. And hashtag Leave Our Kids Alone was successful in their action when they, on one day, in more than 50 places around the country, had action where they read out a declaration. It was live streamed on many or placed on many local radio stations and newspapers, etc. That was the Thursday of the State of the Nation address, and that was 2020. And the following Monday, Angie Macheka withdrew the compulsory CSE from schools. Not the CSE curriculum, which has been there since forever, but the new scripted lesson plans. It was not compulsory, but we knew that they would try and force it behind the scenes through principals, teachers, etc. And now they are trying to slip in uh, something that no child between the age of 0 and 9 should even be aware of. So, in this article, it says Durban, various religious, spiritual, cultural, educational, and traditional associations have formed a coalition and scrutinized the Department of Basic Education's implementation of the gender responsive pedagogy for early childhood education. They call it GRP4 ECE, also known as the ECE Toolkit. The toolkit aims to train pre-primary and primary educators, the teachers, okay, to promote transgender ideology and gender diversity among children aged 0 to 9 years. 0 to 9. I mean, I don't know how you feel about this. I'll get into a bit more detail just now, but let me just give you the article link again so you can follow with me if you want. But this is seriously important. Remember, when Lauren founded the movement that she started in 2017, she stopped all the work with that when this crisis with CEC came up. And for 3 months, she focused on this morning, noon, and night to get that battle won. Because if we lose the battle with the kids, all the other things we do become pointless. And this is the case again. So very important there. What do you think about this? The fact that let me just read this out again, have a toolkit aimed to train pre-primary and primary educators to promote transgender ideology and gender diversity among children aged 0 to 9 years. So the first thing I want to tell you is I believe in liberty, freedom. So I believe that adults can live their lives however they want. I'm not going to tell other people how to live their lives as long as you don't directly hurt someone else. Like I said, you can inject J's fluid into your veins if that makes you happy or blows your skirt up. I'm not going to get involved in that because that's what real freedom is. And if you believe in a God out there, people are allowed to do what they're doing. The most heinous things are happening out there. So why should you want to control what people do? You should control what happens in your life and worry about what happens in your life. That is important. Here we are talking about children. Children, 0 to 9, just born. From the moment the neurons fires in the brain for that baby to understand things, will be indoctrinated with this. It's ideology as well. So this is problematic, hugely problematic. If you have left home in the age of that's considered for you to be an adult in your country is 18 or 21 or whatever the case, you should be able to live your life however you want. Okay. Children is a different story, and there I draw the line and I will fight to the death. The associations argue that it goes against religious and traditional beliefs, and by implementing the toolkit, it undermines gender roles, particularly women. Their arguments are completely and utterly wrong here. Keep religion out of it. Keep traditional beliefs out of it, because you can argue against that. Okay. Keep gender roles out of it. These people have the wrong argument. A child should not be exposed to any ideologies, especially with regards to gender. Gender is a biological thing that you can see. And a lot of people say, no, gender is a role, it's a societal construct. It's utter nonsense. And, throughout the eons, there was no problem until all of a sudden there was this ideology being driven, and that's why it's called an ideology here. And this is IOL calling it an ideology. So they are openly saying that we are driving transgender ideology. The coalition emphasizes the importance of parental rights. That is super important, that parents have rights to raise children according to their culture, spiritual, religious, and traditional beliefs. Absolutely 100% correct, as recognized by South African and international law. Okay, so they are spot on, and that is something they can fight for, because parents do have the right to raise the kids, whether people agree with it or not, according to their cultural, spiritual, religious, and traditional beliefs. Whether you agree with the traditions, beliefs, whatever, it doesn't matter. A parent has the right to raise their children in that way. They assert that the ECE toolkit approach could potentially divide children from their parents and damage the family unit, which is fundamental to South African society. Now, the family unit is super important. It is a natural thing. It's not a construct by any means. And this whole family unit destruction ideology is run worldwide. In the US, there's many organizations that say that the nucleus family shouldn't exist, that it is a societal construct. There should be no mother, father, child figure, uncles, aunts, no relatives. In other words, you are just born, you're just an entity, whatever you want to call it, this baby, and can be used in any way, shape, or form. And you can obviously understand where this may lead. And I don't want to go into that detail, because then this video will probably be removed. Spokesperson, South African Community of Faith-Based Fraternals and Federation, Jan Pretorius, said the DBE rolled out this toolkit with a pilot in KwaZulu-Natal. It always happens with a pilot program in a couple of schools, okay? Under the radar. And often the parents have no idea this is happening. In fact, their concern that the parental rights are removed is absolutely spot on, because in most cases, what they do is they tell the teachers that the parents are stupid. You should know better. This toolkit is going to help you teach the child what they should believe. And it's removing the parental beliefs. And I've explained in detail in my WDS meetings where this comes from the original Bavarian Illuminati plan that Adam Weishaupt wrote out meticulously, and it had to remove parental roles, the existence of parents, children, cousins, uncle, aunts. All of that needs to go, as well as age. And then gender needs to cease to exist to create this one world order and one world government. Then they speak here about they've been busy with this since 2021. Our concern is that it has gone over the heads of parents and hasn't consulted stakeholders. It is a problem to teach young pupils, especially with regards to ideologies of transgender. We met on 5th of December. We had a response meeting in March where they dismissed our grievances and they will go on ahead. Now, this was the same attitude the Department of Basic Education had before, and especially the spokesperson, Mr. Mshlangu, who said that the parents should just smell the roses and smell the coffee and get with the times with regards to CSE. Very arrogant. And the thing is, they can't go back because a lot of money has been spent. And you will hear just now where this money comes from, who is actually driving and supporting this, and then you will understand it comes from the Committee of 300, driven from there, and it will be driven worldwide. It's not just going to be in South Africa, but a lot of people will be surprised that this is happening in South Africa. And it's happening behind your back to your child, and you don't even know it. Okay, the Secretary General of the Evangelical Alliance of South Africa, Reverend Mas Nkla, said the issue is that the DBE is being ideological about gender fluidity issues, specifically gender and values of sexuality. This runs in the face of cherished values by religious communities and families across the country. Once again, the wrong argument to have. The coalition has proposed the formation of a family values unit with the DBE to ensure that educational solutions are rooted in the South African context and not driven by foreign ideologies. Now, they want to make it local. And very soon, if you get a grip on the youth in the country, that's when you get parties that want to implement the fourth industrial revolution, that want AI to run their lives, etc. This is what happens. And this is something you need to look out for. Your child going against your values. And when they grow up, they can do whatever they want. You won't have control over that anymore. The indoctrination would have happened by that smiling teacher that you see in the teacher-parent evening sitting across the room from you. They're not going to tell you that they are teaching your kid this nonsense in school. So once again, the arguments need to be spot on, and I'm sure I trust Lauren to have the proper arguments, the same way she did last time, and give proper guidance, and hopefully we can fight this properly. The coalition has proposed the formation of a family values unit within the DBE to ensure the educational solutions are rooted in the South African context. Okay, so I don't think the DBE is going to listen to any of this, and they told them to go and take a hike. This initiative has raised ideological concerns, with critics arguing that it imposes a singular ideology that undermines traditional views held by many parents and communities. This is not the point. The argument should not be on that basis. The argument should be on the basis that no child from the age of 0 to 9 should have ideologies rammed down their throat in school. The school is not a place for any of those things. The parents should have those rights, and it should remain theirs until the child leaves the home and become an adult under South African law. The coalitions represents more than 20 million members. I can tell you with hashtag Leave Our Kids Alone, massive amounts of people from different religious persuasions whether Muslim, Christian, Jewish, whatever, stood up against this. People from different cultural backgrounds stood up against this together. And this is why the government didn't stand a chance, because it was a broad-based group of people, of hundreds of thousands of people, that stood up against government. And if you have 100,000 people standing up against government and acting, they will back down, guaranteed. As part of the department's memorandum of understanding with the Flemish Association for Development Cooperation and Technical Assistance, VVOB, Education for Development, the DBE is receiving technical assistance to contextualize the toolkit to guide the implementation of a gender-responsive pedagogy in early childhood. So from the age of 0 to 9, they want to be able to teach your child transgender ideologies and normal gender ideologies. This is what it's about. There's the link to the article again for those of you that want to go and read. So Flemish Association. Okay. And they'll talk about the funding now. The toolkit was developed by the DBE in collaboration with the University of Stellenbosch and funded by a 40 million rand grant from VVOB, a Belgian-based organization. Once again, overseas organization influencing us here in the country. You know what to do. In these elections, there's an option that I won't mention that you can vote for that will fight this hand tooth and nail. And you'll be able to see in the coming days what Lauren does with regards to this. I will follow a lead. So can you. I would advise you to do that. She will get these people aligned properly so that they actually know what to fight and how to fight it. And this is why even during the pandemic, the pestilence, many of the court cases failed because people don't know what basis to fight on, because they get emotional. They don't think about things technically and they get things wrong. So we need to get things right. If we don't get this right, we will fail. Luckily, hashtag Leave Our Kids Alone was the largest group, so most people had to fall in line with him. And within hashtag Leave Our Kids Alone, everything was driven correctly. No fake information was spread. Even although there was media against it, there was a lot of media for it. And it hit the mainstream media really fast. So let's hope that we can do the same with this. Tell me in the comments what you think, how you feel about what is happening. I'm not going to keep you for much longer. I don't want this to be too long. I want as many people as possible to view this live, the recording, and share it with other people to be aware, and then watch the space. Lauren will certainly be doing interviews. We'll be speaking out about this in future. I don't want to say too much. You can just look out for the announcement. Okay. So this is very important to understand. This is driving transgender ideology in kids from 0 to 9 years old in school. Why this is happening, I have no idea. And then the other thing that they are driving is the fact that gender doesn't exist. People that are gay or lesbian believe in gender. They just attracted to the opposite sex. This is not a rocket science thing. Here you are taught that gender is just a societal construct, that it doesn't really exist, that you can be cake gender, you can be a flippant cake, you can be cat gender, cow gender, any flippant thing you want to be. You can marry a roller coaster or a lift, anything. Hit yourself to a bridge, marry a bridge. Anything is possible these days. People have lost their minds completely, and it's really sad to see. However, we have a community of people that are strong on the ground, very strong, and I'm extremely proud of what Lauren did today. I've seen Lauren speak many times, many speeches that many people haven't seen. And I don't think in the political realm in this country at the moment that we have someone that can carry thoughts the way that she does. And it's really awesome to know that I'm married to a person that is that capable. And you'll get to see more in future, get to understand why this woman, this mighty woman, could come up with the plans that she came up with, why she's had the successes that she's had, and why there is a community on the ground that is implementing a plan that was formulated that was just absolutely brilliant. And it is working. That plan is working through your action because it empowers you. It empowers you to help your kids. It doesn't empower us and never should. And the beauty of what we are doing is that it is for good. You can see that we are trying to do good. All of you are trying to do good, are trying to keep your kids safe. This is why we do what we do. We don't get paid a cent for any of that work. Nothing. And, the fact that Lauren has worked for so many years without a salary, day in, day out, often to the early hours of the morning, is just a testament to her belief in this country, in the people of this country, and mostly her children and the children of this country. Thanks so much for watching. Please share this with your friends and family. And please remember to like this video so that the algorithm can work for us. Thank you so much. Good night.